After retiring from a legendary cricket career, Imran Khan faced a new challenge. A battlefield far more complex than any stadium he had ever played in. Politics was a world of entrenched power, deep-rooted corruption, and relentless criticism. Many doubted that a cricketer, however celebrated, could make a meaningful impact in the corridors of power. But Imran Khan was not an ordinary man. Where others saw obstacles, he saw opportunity. Where many feared failure, he saw the chance to ignite change. With a vision rooted in justice, transparency, and the belief that Pakistan could rise above its struggles, he took his first steps into politics. Steps that would soon inspire millions. He founded the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) in 1996, not with wealth or political backing, but with a dream and an unwavering commitment to his people. He traveled across the country, speaking to ordinary citizens, listening to their struggles, and promising them something they had almost forgotten. In every rally, every speech, and every meeting, Imran Khan's message was clear. Pakistan could be better. Its future was not predetermined by corruption or power struggles. Change was possible, and the people were the architects of that change. The journey was not easy. Opposition parties dismissed him. Critics mocked his ambition, and the path was strewn with challenges. Yet, like on the cricket field, Imran Khan's resilience, courage, and unwavering faith in his mission carried him forward. Every setback became a lesson, every obstacle an opportunity to grow stronger. Through the years, his presence in politics transformed from a solitary effort into a nationwide movement. The youth rallied behind him, inspired by his vision of a Pakistan defined by integrity, accountability, and equality. Slowly, the impossible began to feel attainable. Imran Khan's entry into politics was not just the beginning of a political career. It was the dawn of hope for a nation yearning for change. It proved that one individual, armed with courage, vision, and determination, could challenge the status quo and inspire millions to believe that a brighter future is always possible. The years that followed Imran Khan's political debut were a test of endurance, not just for him, but for his dream. Pakistan's political arena was a battlefield where alliances shifted overnight, corruption ran deep, and those who challenged the system often paid a heavy price. For over a decade, PTI remained a small party on the sidelines. Election after election, Imran Khan faced defeat. Too many. This would have been the end of the road, a sign to give up, return to comfort, and leave politics to the seasoned power brokers. But Imran Khan was not driven by personal gain. He was driven by a mission to break the chains of injustice, holding his country back. Defeat did not discourage him. It sharpened his resolve. In the face of mockery, he smiled. In the face of betrayal, he stood firm. He understood something crucial. Real change never comes quickly, and true leaders are forged in the fire of struggle. His rallies were often small in the early years, but each gathering carried a spark that began to grow, especially among Pakistan's youth, a generation tired of corruption and desperate for a leader they could believe in. His words resonated with them because they came from a man who had already proven himself on the world stage and had nothing left to prove for himself, only for his nation. The turning point. By the late 2000s, Pakistan was facing a storm of crises: economic instability, security challenges, and political scandals that eroded public trust. The people were weary of the same cycle of broken promises. It was in this climate of frustration and disillusionment that Imran's message began to gain unstoppable momentum. The crowds at PTI rallies swelled. The media, once dismissive, began to take notice. His voice became the voice of accountability. His presence, a symbol of defiance against the entrenched elite. His political struggle was no longer just his own. It belonged to millions who dreamed of a Pakistan built on justice, merit, and equality. Imran Khan often said, "You only lose when you give up," and he was living proof of it. Years of political exile from the center of power did not weaken him. They made him unshakable. The same determination that had once led Pakistan to a cricket world championship was now aimed at leading his nation towards a moral and political revival. This was no longer the lonely fight of a former cricketer. This was a movement, a revolution in the hearts of people, and the world was starting to notice. By 2011, something had shifted in Pakistan's political landscape. For over 15 years, Imran Khan had been a lone warrior in the political wilderness, mocked by rivals and ignored by the establishment. But patience, perseverance, and principle had planted seeds that were now beginning to grow. In October of that year, Lahore's historic Minor became the stage for a rally that would mark a turning point in Pakistan's modern history. Hundreds of thousands gathered, not for the promise of money, jobs, or political favors, but for an idea. The idea that their country could stand tall, proud, and free from the grip of corruption. A sea of people, waving Pakistan's green and white flag, sent a message that could no longer be ignored. Imran Khan and his Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf were no longer outsiders. They were the heartbeat of a nation's hope. For the first time, the political elite began to fear him. The people, especially the youth, began to believe that their voices mattered. PTI rallies were not just political events. They were celebrations of patriotism and unity. The chants of Naya Pakistan, a new Pakistan, echoed in every city and village he visited. The journey from a political underdog to a national contender was not without its challenges. Elections came and went, and although PTI made significant gains, the path to the highest office remained steep. Political opponents tried to discredit him. The media scrutinized every word, and vested interests fought to keep the old system intact. But Imran Khan's resilience was unshakable. He was no stranger to long battles. The same discipline that had kept him on top in cricket, the same refusal to bow down to defeat, carried him through the political storms. He built alliances carefully, choosing principles over expediency. He spoke directly to the people, bypassing political gatekeepers. He promised education reform, health care for all, and a governance model rooted in justice. The dream of a welfare state, a vision inspired by the Prophet Muhammad's city of Medina, became his political compass. In July 2018, after more than 2 decades of relentless struggle, the moment arrived. The Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf emerged as the leading party in the general elections. Imran Khan, the boy from Lahore, who had once dreamed of lifting his nation's spirits on the cricket field, now stood ready to lift the entire country as its 22nd Prime Minister. The world watched as he delivered his victory speech, not in triumph over his opponents, but in humility and determination. His message was simple: we will build a Pakistan where the weak are protected, the corrupt are held accountable, and every citizen has a chance to succeed. For millions, it felt like a new dawn. A leader who had walked among them, fought for them, and refused to give up was finally at the helm. Hope, once faint and fragile, now blazed like a torch, lighting the way forward. But with the Prime Minister's chair came a truth that few truly understand. Leading a nation is not a celebration. It is a test of endurance. From day one, Imran Khan inherited an economy on the brink, a treasury in deficit, and a system deeply entangled in corruption. The euphoria of victory quickly gave way to the grinding reality of governance. Every decision was a balancing act between urgent reforms and political survival. The promises of Naya Pakistan are now not just slogans, they were expectations, written into the hearts of millions. And expectations can be as heavy as mountains. Yet Khan faced this challenge, as he always had, with discipline, patience, and the belief that nothing worth building comes without struggle. He launched programs to uplift the poor, provide shelter to the homeless, and expand healthcare for all. His vision was clear. Pakistan would not rise by pleasing the powerful, but by empowering the powerless. However, change is rarely welcomed by those who profit from the status quo. Powerful lobbies resisted his reforms. Political rivals sought to discredit him at every turn. International pressures and regional tensions added weight to an already heavy burden. And then came a global crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a test no leader could have fully prepared for. Borders closed, economies stalled, and fear swept across the globe. Yet, Pakistan's handling of the pandemic, especially in protecting the poorest through the SS program, drew praise from global institutions. Still, the road was anything but smooth. Inflation, currency depreciation, and political conspiracies all tried to erode the public's faith. But for Khan, leadership was never about comfort. It was about resilience. He knew that storms do not last forever, and that history remembers those who keep steering the ship, even when the waves threaten to sink it. A symbol beyond borders. By now, Imran Khan was more than a Pakistani politician. He was a global figure. His speeches at the United Nations on Islamophobia, climate change, and justice for the oppressed resonated far beyond Pakistan's borders. Millions abroad saw in him what his supporters at home had always believed, a leader who dared to speak the truth, even when it was inconvenient. But greatness often comes at a cost. The political tides in Pakistan grew turbulent. The alliances that once supported him began to fracture. Opposition forces joined hands with a singular goal: to remove the man who had shaken their comfortable world. And so, the battle for Pakistan's soul entered a new chapter, one that would test not just Imran Khan's political survival, but the resilience of the hope he had ignited in millions.